Good morning, team. How are we doing? Welcome back to another video. And today is a big day. We're feeling a little bit fatigued this morning because yesterday was an absolutely enormous day. Basically, 2 hours on the bike, and we're doing some heat training on the bike, which is getting difficult. So basically, it's like chuck as many layers on as you can, just make yourself as warm as possible whilst doing the bike. But just a little bit of heads up, if you do fancy it, stay tuned later on in the video. Not only am I going to be running you through a track session I've got, an upper body gym session that I've got, but also running you through the running shoe rotation that I'm using right now. Why do I change different shoes? My recommendations. I have tried so many different pairs of running shoes as someone who's a little bit heavier. Getting the right pair of shoes is definitely important. I've had some knee issues in the past, which I always want to neglect. But yeah, yesterday was nearly 2 hours on the bike in the morning. Then we had ski erg thresholds in the evening, which was, I way underestimated the session. And coming up today's track workout, I will run you through when we get to the track. But for now, it's been an incredibly busy morning. We've been up, we've walked, we've had a team meeting. We've had a consultation call with, and a new client join the team, which is going to be incredible. Super excited for that. And then also we had a little bit of an update as well. Something we've been working on massively over this last couple of weeks is our community. Now, this is our client community group where all of our clients get lifetime access to. Like, we've just been working on this, and it's just, I absolutely love it. We've got clients like Jordan just kind of sharing wins from his journey in here. We've got Hannah, which is one of my longest serving clients, like sharing this amazing, healthy cinnamon bun recipe. Just the community side of the program is just building and building and building. And it's something I'm so freaking proud of because people feel a part of something, and it feels like we're building something, actually building something special, rather than not just helping people get in shape, get fitter, get stronger, but when people feel part of something, freaking love it. So I'm going to crack on, finish this work. I've got 2 more calls now, and then we're going to get our AS down to the track. Okay. Celsius Peach Vibe is going in. 200 milligram of caffeine. We are one more call with one of my clients, Cosmo, from the Isle of Man, who literally just done his first photo shoot. We're now reverse dieting out to help him maintain that shape, and then we'll go into a muscle gaining phase and a performance phase where we're going to chase some crazy fitness and some very cool things. Track time, baby. Shoes. We have some new chews to try. These Science in Sport Beta Fuel chews. I absolutely love the gels that they have. But I'm going to give these a go. They're 46 grams of carbs, so I'm going to consume this on the way to the track, and then I have an extra gel just for potentially halfway through the session if we feel like we need it. Coming down to this running track always feels really strange because this is literally the running track. Well, it's the only running track in Jersey, to be totally frank, okay? And this is where I did like school sports days and things like that. So whenever I come down here, it's always like a massive blast from the past. I was always the kid at school. I was never the best at anything. Like, I was never the best sprinter. I was never the best 400, 800, or the best cross country. But I was always like second or third. So I never had a specialist event. Never really had a specialist sport even until I was a little bit later on, more towards like 17, 18, where I stopped playing everything and kind of really concentrated on rugby. But today's session, I'm not looking forward to, if I'm completely honest, okay? It is warm up, basically like 2 or 3K, and then basically it's 400 meter repeats. So 400 meters, 1 minute's rest, and we start at basically it taking 1 minute 35 to do the 400. So from my calculations, that is a 3:58 per kilometer pace. 1 minute rest, and then basically we have to get a little bit quicker each time. Okay, so what we then do is I basically use ChatGPT, my best friend, to make this table for me. So you can see, start at 3:58, then we have to do it in 1:34, which is 3:55, 3:52, 3:50, 3:48. And you're going to ask me, how many reps do we have to do here? And quite honestly, the answer is all of them, because we basically just got to keep going until we can't do any more. So just done a little bit of mobility. I'm going to do some running drills, and then we're going to get into it. Warm up done. It's now time to get into it. And this is going to be spicy. I reckon maybe 20 reps, 20 maybe more, depending on how we're feeling. But like we said, first one at 3:58, should be finishing here at 1 minute 35. 2, 1. Let's go then. $134, 1 minute rest. We go again. It's going to be a long day. Five reps in, feeling good. Heart rate's coming right back down. To be honest, it's perfect conditions. It's nice and cool, no sun. It's actually quite chilly, to be honest. But this 6th rep, we're down to 3:45 per kilometer for the 400. I feel like this next 5 is where I'm gonna start to feel it, and then from there on, it's gonna be work time. Number 10 done. That was a 3:35 per kilometer pace. This is where we start having to work. So we're going to get a gel in now, just because it's going to make it that little bit easier to digest now before this is going to start getting real spicy. We're now up to a 3:32 kilometer. Just started absolutely hammering it down. So I might not be able to film that much more of this because I don't want to get my camera absolutely drenched. So I'm going to plop you here. We are moving well though. 14 reps in, down to like a 3:25 per kilometer pace. So let's lap 20. Might have 1, maybe 2 more in me. Heart rate's just not coming down between the reps now. I think we're down to like 3:07. Got 15 seconds, but that rep, I literally was pretty much max out and we just about hit it. So we're going to do 1 more rep because it says until you can't hit it. 3:02 per K. Oh. Oh. Capiche. I'm out. Holy fuck. That's a high heart rate. But, oh fuck. Holy fuck. 23 reps. I think that last one was like 3:03 per K. I caught up fast. I was really fine until 3:15 or so, and then just really kicked in. Oh god, cool down. There we go, team. We are, yeah, I got the cool down done there, and then it was very, very wet and cold, and I was absolutely knackered. So we drove home and we got sorted. So that ended up as a very, very, very successful run. What was it, 23 reps, I think, finishing at like a three-minute K. I'll leave the little Strava stuff here. How old that clock is, it's ridiculous. But apart from that, yeah, very, very happy. I think we totaled about 14K, including warm-up and cool-down. So we are now chillaxing for just the next 20 minutes. Okay, I'm going to get some food in. Needed something quick, so I ended up picking up chicken salad sandwich, basically just a meal deal with a protein brownie, and then a nana. I've got another call to do with another potential client, then an upper body session to do. I'll run you through my recommendation around shoes and things. These are bloody sexy, okay? So let's talk running shoes. Now, I'm going to break things down into a couple of different categories, and for context, I've tried so many different running shoes over the years, and I found ones I love, found ones I hate, found ones that I found were a complete waste of money, ones that I thought were probably decent quality shoes but didn't necessarily actually work for me. Now, let's be honest, you could have one pair of running trainers and you could probably do with that, but if you're wanting to take your training, your performance a little bit seriously, you probably want at least two pairs. Now, ideally, I rotate between three. I kind of have my race day trainer, which is kind of like full carbon plate, okay? I've tried the Nike Vaporfly. For me, it's just a little bit narrow. I've got really fat feet, but these have got a carbon plate. They're extremely stiff, they're extremely light, and very, very fast, okay? But because of this, they don't last very long, okay? The Alpha Fly is a little bit thicker, so as someone who's probably a little bit heavier as a runner, I find these absolutely incredible. They're also just a little bit wider. Yes, they're more expensive, but what I do with these is I literally only use them for races or for the last kind of 2, 3, 4 big sessions before a race, just so that I'm used to them, okay? So that would be my go-to. I do want to try the new Adidas top of the range race shoe because I really, really like these here, but I'll run through these in a second. So the first pair of shoes that I would always be looking at is just kind of like an everyday pair. Now, these two pairs of trainers here would be my favorite go-tos, just an everyday shoe, okay? This is the ASIC Nova Blast, okay? ASICS, whoever, what do you call it, okay? Now, excuse me, yes, they are filthy. These were white. The last time that I wore these, me and Jason were doing a trail marathon and I managed to do it in these, which is crazy how they actually managed to last. But incredible shoe, nice wide fitting, relatively good looking shoe, very, very wide, good heel drop, but they're also still quite responsive. So you can do some kind of more tempo or threshold work in there, even though I probably wouldn't necessarily recommend it, okay? These are my latest pair of shoes that I've been trying out. I've probably done 4 or 5 runs in these now recently, and firstly, I think they're just such a good looking shoe, and they come in some really cool colorways as well. But they're a little bit narrower, okay? They're nice and light, they're super responsive. There's no carbon plate in these, but I literally just did the 400 meter track session in these, and they felt fast, which I was so surprised with. I've worn them for easy runs, I've worn them for a tempo workout, a threshold workout, and now a speed workout. And I would still say, as of right now, this is probably one of the most impressive shoes that I have ever used as an all-rounder. Is it going to be your race day shoe? Probably not, just because it hasn't got any carbon rods, okay? But as an all-rounder shoe for just everything day to day, 1000%, okay? So if you're the kind of person who wants to cut down and literally just have one pair, right now I would say these, okay, the Adidas Evo SLs would 100% be my main recommendation. If you have tried ASICs, they fit well for you, maybe you've got slightly wider feet, these Nova Blast are obviously a great option as well. Now, the last kind of pair of shoes that I would be looking at as well is the kind of like a long run pair of shoes and kind of everyday mileage, like a really highly cushioned. Now, you can definitely use your everyday trainer for those longer runs, but personally I like to have just a little bit more cushion, take some pressure off my joints, take some pressure off my knees, and that's where these two pairs come in. Now we have the Nike Vomero 18 Plus and then the Puma Nitro Mag Max off the top of my head. Now, okay, these are a little bit more expensive, okay? I first got these and I just wanted to try them because I had another pair of Pumas that I actually quite liked. I mean, they're nice and thick, they're nice and soft, they are a little bit heavy, and the biggest thing is they're just not very responsive. So if the weather's really, really shit and I'm maybe running on some dirt that I don't want to ruin these in, I'll kind of wear these, but it was more so I just wanted to try them. So these honestly probably wouldn't be my recommendations, but these are incredible. They're like running with clouds on your feet. The stack height is crazy. They're a pretty decent looking shoe for something that's so chunky as well. As a long run shoe, or just an everyday, if you've got sore legs and you need a little bit of cushion, okay, or sore knees or whatever it might be, these would be a really, really good recommendation. So right now, how my rotation actually looks is this, okay? I use the Adidas Evo SL for my kind of tempo work, my interval work, my speed work. I use the Nike Vomero 18 Plus for kind of like any just gentle, easy recovery runs, and then some of my long runs, I'll chuck these in depending on how long it is. And then for races or those kind of big race pace sessions, I will be using the Nike Alphafly for sure. But if anyone has any questions about anything when it comes to these shoes, just let us know in the comments, and then we're gonna go and smash an upper body session. One of the things I actually forgot to say there, the whole benefit of having like a shoe rotation, okay? One, it actually saves you money in the long run, believe it or not, rather than wasting money on just destroying one pair. But the biggest benefit is that different shoes will challenge your body from like a muscular perspective in slightly different ways, meaning a carbon shoe, an easy run shoe, a tempo shoe, all of those different shoes, they're going to strengthen muscles in slightly different ways. For example, carbon shoe is going to make you run way more kind of forefoot and kind of forwards, which is going to put way more stress on your calves. Whereas an easy run shoe, because you're not getting the pop out of it, you might run a little bit more flat footed, and you're not going to be quite as aggressive with things, okay? So the ability to become the best athlete that you possibly can is dictated to by your ability to train, and you can't train if you're injured. So having a smart, intelligent shoe rotation, even if it was just I have an everyday shoe and a race day shoe that I practice in, or a speed shoe, it's going to have massive, massive benefits, okay? But I also forgot it's the freaking Ryder Cup has started. Let's go Europe, by the way. Any of my golf fans, let me know. But I need to get more food in me, okay? I am struggling after that track session. That was way harder than I thought it was going to be totally honest, okay? I knew it would be tough, but that was a different kettle of fish. So more food, more work, upper body session, and then I think we're going to be making homemade pizzas tonight, which sounds bloody fantastic. So what I thought I would do is just a little bit of a kind of walk and talk as I went through this upper body session. Now, I've always struggled with my shoulders just from long-term rugby injuries, and this shoulder kind of mobility flow that I kind of start with, the shoulder distractions, the lat stretch, both in 2 ways, has been absolutely incredible. But more so than that, it's all good having the mobility, the flexibility. I actually think doing the corrective prehab and rehab, so external rotations like this, which people do with a dumbbell, which is literally completely useless. I then always start out most of my sessions with some kind of core movement. Cable crunches like this are hands down my go-to. Some face pulls just to activate those mid and lower traps, again for shoulder health. And then I always just make sure I get some kind of blood around shoulders, elbows, into the chest before we move into the upper body session, okay? Starting out with some machine pec flies, okay? This session is a little bit more kind of like bro or bodybuilder focus for me. So I like to start with an isolation movement. I just found for me, chest is such a stubborn area. And if it is for you, I definitely try starting with some kind of fly variation. Because my central nervous system just is extremely fatigued from that session, I actually swapped the dumbbell bench press for a machine chest press like this, just to remove some stability. Went into a chest supported row. Again, fantastic exercise because you can really just lock that chest into the pad and make sure that you're not using any momentum at all. That was our horizontal pull, and then made sure that we had a vertical pull. So the first movement there, the row, is a little more kind of back thickness, traps, rhomboids focus. This is a little bit more lat focused, neutral grip, really focusing on trying to relax my hands as much as possible, just use them as hooks, okay? And of course, I was running behind schedule a little bit, so I moved into this. Now, this is a little bit of a funny bicep exercise for some people, but honestly, it is the GOAT, okay? The lower that you have this bench angle, the more of a stretch you're gonna get. Therefore,
some research shows more muscle growth. Some skull crushers, and then I would normally do a cable lateral raise, but someone was on the cable. So I literally just did some dumbbell side raises. No, the form's not absolutely amazing, but I did what I love to do on this, is just a giant set. So we did 5 sets of 12 to 15, but literally with only 10 seconds rest in between. And you can see the look on my face. And yeah. This was the pizza, which
yeah, baby.
we kind of made very, very quickly. And if you haven't, by the way, this Ninja pizza oven is absolutely freaking incredible.
Is
okay,
needed.
cut that bad boy up. My mum, my dad in the background there. Okay, and then we cracked on.
Finishing the day with pizza. Very busy, very successful. If you like the video, smash the like button. See you next week.